Hello everyone, this is Shadow Cosmic here, and today I'll be doing another Shadowverse video, kind of. Well, I'll explain later. I'll explain now. Basically, as they go on, they've released a complete list of the cards that got get rotated out of rotation format, and yeah, so I'm gonna go through the cards and just see what impacts they have on the current decks, and also what archetypes are gonna die, maybe what archetypes are gonna shift in. So yeah, I'll link the full website in the description below if you want to check it out. And also note that I'm not going through every single card that will be removed from the rotation format. I'm only going through the more significant ones. So you'll probably see a lot of the the less played cards I won't talk about. I'll probably only be talking about the big culprits, so to speak. So without further ado, let's go. So today's agenda will be ForestCraft. So ForestCraft, they will lose, well, let's talk about specific archetypes first. We'll go into more aggro archetype. So first we have, for aggro forest, they will lose Elf Chow Mei, Fairy Bringer, Blessed Fairy Dancer, and Elf Knight Cynthia. So what this means is, well, let's go one by one. First, Elf Chow Mei. She was quite a useful card before. She allowed you to remove things on the board while developing a follower of your own. So with her gone, the ForestCraft will probably have a harder time doing small pings to enemies. Fairy Bringer means you can no longer play zero cost fairies that easily, because usually you can develop Fairy Bringer and a fairy alongside her. Now that's no longer possible since she's getting rotated out. Blessed Fairy Dancer means you can no longer just buff your board with one attack, so it's a little bit sad, but she's going to. And lastly, without Elf Knight Cynthia, the mid-game of aggro forest is gonna be much less powerful. So yeah, she's gone as well. So it's sad to say. And let's move on for Roach, the big culprit, Roach. So Roach is losing quite a lot of cards. They are losing Fairy Circle, they are losing Nature's Guidance, they lose Roach himself, they lose Elf Girl Lisa, they lose Elven Princess Mage, they lose Glimmering Wings, and lastly they lose Ancient Elf. So quite a big mouthful there. By losing Fairy Circle, they no longer have the ability to generate fairies on turn 1. Nature's Guidance means ForestCraft loses a bounce and a draw. Rhinoceros himself means the archetype is just dead. You can no longer play Rhinoceros in rotation. Elf Girl Lisa means your board is much more vulnerable to removal. She used to be very good both in Roach and in aggro because she could protect the board. Elven Princess Mage means you can no longer generate 2 zero cost fairies, which were actually very crucial to the Roach lineup. Also, Elven Princess Mage used to be a very good turn 4 drop. You just play her on the board, evolve, fight for tempo, and also get the 2 fairies. Glimmering Wings means you can no longer, Forest doesn't have as much draw power as before. And lastly, Ancient Elf. Ancient Elf also, she used to be very good at fighting off aggro, because on turn 3 you drop her and then she's just a very big wall. So now with her gone, I wonder what Forest will have to do to fight against aggro. So it's quite a big loss, Roach, but well, everything has come. All things come and all things go. So yep, that's that. So now we're moving on to the more mid-range ForestCraft. Well, I call it mid-range, but it's really like OTK. So in this case, they are losing Crystalia Tia, Will of the Forest, Fairy Beast, and Silverbow. So Crystalia Tia, in case you don't know, she summons a 4/4, which if you have played 2 other cards this turn, it evolves into a 6/6 and gains Ward. So it will used to be a very good legendary for fighting for tempo in the mid game, because it sets up a ward and also gives a free evolve. So losing her will be quite harsh on the ForestCraft. Will of the Forest means they no longer can have consistent board clears, because Will of the Forest used to deal 8 damage spread among the entire opponent's field. So with that gone, ForestCraft will probably have to find new AoE. Fairy Beast means the survivability isn't as good anymore, because Fairy Beast used to heal you for around, once again, 8 health, which means it could help you survive into the late game. And also, yeah, he's gone. So at least we have Elf Queen as a replacement. But for Will of the Forest, there really is no replacement. So, and lastly, Silverbolt. So Silverbolt's getting rotated out, which means your OTK Silverbolt will be gone. There is the replacement in terms of King Elephant, but once again, that means the playstyle will have to change slightly. So yeah, that's it for Silverbolt. So Forest is losing 2 archetypes, Silverbolt and also Roach. So from what I can see, they're trying to push the neutral Forest mechanic, and they're also trying to push the King Elephant OTK mechanic. As for some honorable mentions, we have Harvest Festival getting rotated out. Grand Archer Selwyn is also going, as well as Homecoming. As for 2 others, Fairy Princess and Rose Queen is also going out. So Harvest Festival, post-nerf, pre-nerf, it was a very good card, and even now you don't really see it being run much, but this card will be remembered by the OG players as a very, very, very good card in its time. Homecoming also, pre-nerf, it was 5 cost, so it was also very strong to just bounce everything on the board back to players' hands. But now it got its nerf to 7, but once again, OG players will remember. Grand Archer Selwyn, although he didn't really get like a lot of time to shine, I think he's still quite a very versatile card in terms of his effect. And I've experimented with him quite a while before, stopped the Bahamut with his skill, and it was very fun. So salute to Grand Archer Selwyn as well. Lastly, Fairy Princess and Rose Queen. With those 2 rotating out, it means we no longer have our OTK combo where you Fairy Princess into a handful of fairies and Rose Queen into a handful of Bombers. With these 2 rotating out, it means you can no longer play Bombers memes in rotation format. Little bit sad, but once again, salute to these 2 for all their hard work. So as far as I can tell, those were the significant cards that are getting rotated out for ForestCraft. Yes, so we lose 2 archetypes. So the only major archetypes of Forest left right now is Beauty and the Beast, or also known as Neutral ForestCraft, and King Elephant OTK. If you're thinking about Path to Purgatory, you can think again, because Path to Purgatory is also getting rotated out. I'll cover that in my the video for neutrals. So that's that for now. What do you think about these rotations? Do you think some of them are very necessary to be rotated out? Do you think some of them shouldn't be rotated out and left in? I do want to hear your thoughts and comments. Please leave them in the comments down below. Well, take care. Bye bye.